Michelle and Dan and Coach BK, guiding you all the way. Copy and keys, unlock your destiny. Copy and keys, where you wanna be. Property coded, dreams in motion. Michelle and BK, pure devotion. Copy and keys, copy and keys. Copy and keys. Copy and keys.
Hi everyone. Hi. Okay, so today we are Today I'm very fortunate to invite Brad, over here to talk about some property 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 educational stuff. So yeah, why did I invite Brad? Simply because he has been a tagger for a lot of new launches this year, and I've seen him in a lot of new launches talking about some of the new projects and stuff. So I actually invited him over here today. Welcome, Brad.
Hey, hi, welcome everybody. Thanks, Michelle, for inviting me for this Kopi and Keys.
Yeah, welcome. Okay,
Thanks.
so without further ado, I do want to ask you a few questions that I think a lot of our viewers are also interested in.
Okay.
So basically, right, I think the last one that I saw you at was actually at the EC launch.
Okay.
So
Yes.
maybe we can talk more a little bit about EC. So what is what is the difference between private and EC? Okay, for guys, just to let you know, EC is executive condominium. So what is the difference between private and EC? Maybe you can explain on that.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, EC is a form of subsidized housing where only Singaporeans can qualify. So if you look at it, right, EC, the price of EC today, right, is about 25 to 30% lower than the comparable private condo in the same vicinity due to a lower land cost. Okay, basically the government sells the land at a cheaper price to the developer so that the developer can launch and sell at a cheaper price. And it's only for Singaporeans. Okay, at least one of the applicants must be Singaporean. And then, so after 5 years, right, the MOP period, the EC, the owner can actually resell it to either a Singaporean or a PR. Then after 10 years, the EC is converted to a condominium, private condominium, and they can sell to foreigners. Okay, just for information, right? Yeah, the EC owner in Singapore, right, recently sold his EC for a profit of more than 1.7 million, just holding over 7 years and 7 months. This means that the annualized average gain, right, is almost 11.6% per year. Yeah. So EC is really quite profitable. You know, most people don't know about this. Just to highlight about, yeah. So actually, you know, not to say that we should make money from property, but if you're looking at a low entry, safe and low entry project, and then you want to cash out after 10 years, you know, this is something I can consider actually.
Wow. Okay. So what I'm hearing is EC is a good buy, but then is there certain criteria that we need to meet before we can actually purchase EC?
Yes, of course. Like I said, first of all, one of the applicant must be a Singaporean.
Okay.
And there is also a few schemes that, another thing is that you must have at least one more chance to buy subsidized housing. Okay, that means that, as you know, right, every Singaporean, you're given 2 chances to buy subsidized housing. Yeah. So if you take subsidy from the government for the first time, let's say you buy a BTO, it's considered subsidized housing. If you buy resale, but you take grant from the government, it's also considered subsidized housing. So after that, there's one more chance. So the second chance, right, you can actually use it to buy a EC, which is a form of subsidized housing as well. So as long as you have one more chance, you can buy the EC. Okay. And then, of course, other criteria. First of all, you must form a family nucleus. There's actually 4 available schemes outside there. Mainly is the fiancé and fiancé scheme or the public scheme, okay, and then also single scheme and the orphan scheme, okay. So and then third, the monthly household income, gross household income cannot exceed more than 16,000 a month, okay. And fourth, if the applicants already have HDB flat, they must fulfill the 5 years MOP period before they can buy a EC. And fifth, right, they cannot own any private properties, residential properties. If they have, let's say, commercial properties, right, for their business, let's say it's like, for example, some of them may own a hawker store, right? Then that one, they can probably appeal to HDB, and then HDB, after considering the circumstances, may approve them of buying a EC.
So you mean even if let's say I own a hawker store, it's considered as subsidized already? I used one of my chance.
Oh, no. I mean, by right, you're not supposed to own any commercial properties.
Oh, okay.
Correct. So
Okay,
let's say you have a hawker store and then you use it for your business, then you actually can write into HDB to appeal, to let them allow you to go for EC.
Okay, so guys, this is what I'm listening what I'm hearing. It's not as simple. So basically, right, don't just guess whether can you buy or not. Reach out to us, okay, to know whether I'm eligible to buy into EC, which is easier stepping stone into private property, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just staying in the HDB, whereby there's this thing we call the decaying list. So with that, right, EC might be a easier stepping stone if, let's say, some of us find that private is a higher benchmark for us to enter into, right? Okay. So for if you want to know whether are you eligible for that, do feel free to contact myself or Brad. Okay. Then we will be able to analyze, or rather to find out, we definitely have to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Then we will find out to see whether are you eligible for that. Correct, Brad?
Correct. So besides the eligibility scheme, right, another very important thing you need to consider when you want to buy EC is your financials. So you have to work out your financials. Most of the buyers nowadays for ECs, right, I would say that they belong to the second timer, which means that they really own a HDB flat. For information, the first timer are those who don't have any property on hand. Yeah, so second timers, right, when they want to buy EC, of course, the good thing is that they really have property on hand, so they can actually use it to apply for what they call a deferred bridging loan. Okay, that one, the technical details, I will come to it later.
Yeah. So what happens is, let me summarize a bit on what Brad is trying to say here also, is that if let's say you are a second timer, that means you are already staying in a HDB now, or existing EC now, okay, because if you get an EC previously, it's also considered subsidized, right? You want to go for second time, you don't have to sell your property first.
Correct.
You can continue to stay in the house and then wait till it's TOP, that means completion. Then you sell your house and then you can move in. So you in between, the timeline can be all well planned out. You don't have to rent out you don't have to rent any house at all.
Correct. You don't have to move twice. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So this is the beauty of EC, and this is what I like also, because a lot of people find it a very big hassle to move here and there.
Yes, and you don't have to pay the ABSD. Let's say you now buy a second property, you pay ABSD. But for EC, you don't have to do that. And you can, for the second loan, right? Let's say you already have an outstanding loan with your HDB. EC will be considered a second loan, and you can take up to 75%, no problem.
Okay, so one last question before we end this podcast today. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's already end of the year, Brad. But why is the next 2-3 months very exciting for new EC buyers?
Okay, so the next 2-3 months, right, we will see 2 new EC launch in the east. In fact, the next one will be Costa Cabana, which will be in Pasir Ris. It will preview from 6th to 21st December, which is just next month, 1 week plus away. And we have 748 units that's sea facing. Okay, so it's actually very exciting. And the second EC that's going to be previewed is actually next year around February, March. That's called Resale at Tampines, also in the east side. Okay, so as you know that ECs in the West are hugely sought after. The most recent one that was launched was Orel at Tampines in February this year. And by the way, on the launch day, right, it's sold over 90% just on launch day. So you can see that the response is so strong, you know. Yeah.
There's a very
So,
high demand, I would say.
yes, high demand for EC in the east side, correct. And I would say that Costa Cabana has very, very good features. And it's just one thing is only like 5-6 minutes to the walking distance to the sea. Yeah.
Okay, we'll share all these details later. We don't share all these details now. Okay. So
Okay.
so guys, so you share it. So I think you guys guessed it also. So what is happening is that we will be having a next podcast that will talk more into Costa Cabana. Okay, follow us and subscribe, and then we will be able to share with you more on Costa Cabana, and maybe later on the other ECs as well. Okay, so do follow us, and thank you, Brad, so much for coming in.
Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. So
Okay,
at least now we know, our viewers know better on what is an EC, and for criteria wise, as much as we give you a guideline, it still differs from individuals because everyone has a different family nucleus or different background. So it's good that if let's say you can contact myself, okay, 87875688, and then we will link you up, and we will see how we can move forward from there and do the financials as well. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Brad. I will
Thank you.
see
Thank
you
you.
next podcast.
Okay.
See you
See you.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
Kopi and Keys. Ooh, 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 ooh. Kopi and Keys. Ooh, 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 ooh. My Shelling knows the streets. Every door, every deal. BK Hans got the vision clear, making your future real. Singapore skyline rising high. Find your place, reach and fly. Kopi and Keys, unlock your destiny. Kopi and Keys, where you wanna be. Property coded, dreams in motion. The Shell and BK, pure devotion. Kopi and Keys. Market moves, they break it down. Wisdom serves investment sound. Every question, every doubt, they'll show you what it's all about. Singapore skyline rising high. Find your place, reach and fly. Kopi and Keys, unlock your destiny. Kopi and Keys, where you wanna be. Property coded, dreams in motion. The Shell and BK, pure devotion. Kopi and Keys. From less deep to luxury, your home, your wealth, your liberty. Michelle and Coach BK,